Hi there, it's Jason from thelawofassumption.org, and today in this video, we're going to talk about how to manifest business success the Neville Goddard way. We're focused on specific quotations from The Power of Awareness. This is my all-time favorite Neville Goddard book. The Power of Awareness it's just jam-packed with ideas and concepts to apply for manifesting really anything in your life. But in this context, we're going to be talking today about business success. So I'm essentially reading this book in terms of business success, and this video presentation is for you, the entrepreneur. If you are growing a business or you desire to create financial success in your life through the vehicle of a business, then I think it's important to think about and apply these concepts a little differently. You know, often when we think about manifesting, we're drawing things to us, but in this case, we're still doing that, of course, but we're also drawing this power through us. So being an entrepreneur involves taking action, it involves goal setting, it involves, having a vision for your business, having belief and faith in the products and services, whatever you're creating. So there are some slightly different approaches. And one of the things about Neville, it's important to understand, Neville himself was not an entrepreneur. He was definitely a self-made in the sense that he became a world-renowned author and today a highly recognized figure in the field of metaphysics and mind alchemy. However, Neville himself was not a businessman. His family, the Goddard family, was involved in a business in the West Indies that still operates today and is actually extremely successful business. And in several books and lectures, Neville refers to his family's success and talks about how they used some of these very concepts before Neville himself became a teacher and a writer. But Neville himself was never an entrepreneur, and I think that's important to point out because being an entrepreneur means applying some of these concepts a little bit differently. For myself, I own and operate 3 businesses. I've been operating businesses for almost 2 decades now, over 15 years, in a variety of fields, product businesses, service businesses. So I know firsthand what it's like to operate as an entrepreneur, let's say pre-manifesting and post-manifesting. And I think that there's a useful way to approach this. So I'm going to offer my insight today into that in this video. And if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, I'm sure this will be very helpful for you. So we're going to go through these one at a time. We're going to talk about all these different concepts that you see on your screen now. We're going to begin by talking about self-concept and how important that is when thinking about entrepreneurship. What you consider yourself to be or who you consider yourself to be, your I amness, is what manifests in your world. So as soon as you begin to take on this concept of being an entrepreneur, there are so many components of I am that we need to get into touch with. I am successful. I am an entrepreneur. I am very good at growing my businesses. I am very good at optimizing for sales and profit. And I've created a list of affirmations here for you, but I think it's really important that you identify an affirmation, 1 or 2, that you can repeat constantly throughout the day to really develop your subconscious around this idea that this is who you are. I am a very successful entrepreneur. I am extremely productive. My business is easy, lucrative, and fun. I work in the flow, and I am always guided by infinite intelligence. I think it's so important, if you're going to take a manifesting kind of approach to this, that we focus on the kind of business that you want to experience, not the kind of business that the rest of the world thinks you should have to experience. That's a very limited way of going about this. You end up in a situation that can be stressful, where you're actually could be quite unhappy with the business that you create. And trust me, I know, I've been there. This can and will happen if we don't get our I am statements aligned with who you really are and who it is you want to be. And since you have this power of God within you, as Neville teaches, we can begin from that starting place, knowing that you can create the type of business that you want to have. And if you're already an entrepreneur, you can recreate your existing businesses, reimagine them to be more aligned with your truest desires. When you know that consciousness is the one and only reality, conceiving itself to be something good, bad, or indifferent, and becoming that which it conceived itself to be, you are free from the tyranny of second cause, free from the belief that there are causes outside of your own mind that can affect your life. This is a direct quote from Neville. You become free from second cause. So, in other words, whatever the things are that are happening around you, if you begin to realize that you have this God power within to create, to shape your life, to manifest the type of business that you want, you can truly go from within and create exactly what you want to create, as long as you stay true to that and as long as you recognize that you are free from the tyranny of second cause. And of course, second cause is the stream of cause and effect that seems to appear around us in our 3D world, where we tend to get caught up and we tend to only see lack and limitation. I don't have enough capital. I don't have the right employees. I don't have all these I don't haves, or let's say I am nots. When you know that you have this power within you, this invisible power, then you become free from those second causes. Super important to remember that as you continue down this journey of entrepreneurship, and or as you develop your existing business or businesses. So you want to choose a clear business goal that resonates with you, that actually sparks you and excites you. Don't feel that you have to go and, maybe you want to start a porta potty rental business. Great, go do it. You may decide that it doesn't really matter the type of business. I'm just more focused on the financial part of it, and the type of business I'm indifferent to it. But I do think that you want to design your lifestyle around this. You want to design the type of business that's going to support you and make you feel good. That is super important, because we're going to live in the end here. We're going to begin with the end in mind. And the way that end feels, the way that that wish fulfilled feels, is important, because otherwise you won't be able to tune into it. Or let's say you'll struggle to tune into it, and then you'll just manifest business struggle. We don't want to end up there. As Florence Scovel Shinn reminds us, there is no competition on the spiritual plane. There is no competition on the spiritual plane. When we rise above the tyranny of second cause in this outer world, we realize there is no competition on the spiritual plane. I have everything I need from within, and I can create what I want from within. This is echoed as well by Wallace Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, another great book I highly recommend for aspiring entrepreneurs, metaphysical entrepreneurs. This concept that competition is, if you're going to be on the competitive plane, you're gonna deal with the tyranny of second cause. But if you can rise to the creative plane, what Wallace Wattles calls the creative plane, you can rise above that tyranny of second cause. And of course, Jesus reminds us that it is God's good pleasure to give me the kingdom, to give you the kingdom. It's God's good pleasure. Both Florence Scovel Shinn, Wallace Wattles, Neville Goddard, all of these great teachers are always reminding us that God is good. God is one power, and that power is good. And God, this one power, streams through you, for you, all around you. And as I mentioned down here, you are God particularized and individualized. God wants you to succeed because God brought you here to enjoy success and experience success through you. And of course, Neville would remind you that you are God. I think it's more constructive to think of this in terms of being God particularized. You're an individual aspect of God. Your mind is a center of divine operation, as Thomas Troward taught in the Edinburgh lectures. You are a particularization of God. You are God keyed low in your current embodiment as the person that you have manifested into on this planet. But God wants you to succeed. If you have the entrepreneurial germ inside of you, you are here to fulfill that mission. If this is part of your soul's path, let's say, or whatever it is that you came into this world, I think it's so important to tap into that idea and to really feel into that this is part of who you are. It's part of your true identity, that success and fulfillment is your divine birthright. So this is the self-concept we need to tune into as we go along this entrepreneurial journey, realizing that the presence of God is in you and that you have all the power and support that you could ever need behind you, ready to deliver those things to you and help you grow into an entrepreneur. So I want to point out as well, this is not a discussion about how to win the lottery. This is not a discussion about how to have money just fall into your lap, or this is a discussion about how to empower yourself as an entrepreneur. And we entrepreneurs, we like to take action. We like to create businesses, create products. But when we see this through the lens of manifesting, we realize that we have infinite supply behind us, that any capital we need, any supply we need, any people, resources, the more we focus on the good and shine the good into our life, into our consciousness, and into our business ventures, the more wonderful they will be. Neville tells us you must turn from the objective appearance of things and turn to the subjective center of things. Feel the reality of your success right now, right here, and know that it is already real on the spiritual plane. Health, wealth, beauty, and genius, and I added success, are not created. They are only manifested by your mind. So think about this for a moment. Any results that you want to get in your business, any results that you want to get as an entrepreneur, they are manifested from within your mind. We have to rearrange our mind to know and align our self-concept as being successful, as being very good at building businesses. And of course, the word create and manifest, we can use these interchangeably. I think it is useful to think of creation being finished in the sense that you can see your goal, but then to go about your daily work as a creator and to know that this is pouring through you. God works through me, for me, and all around me. God is there to support you as an entrepreneur. And if you can really feel that support, that is going to help tremendously, because as entrepreneurs, you forge out onto this road alone. This is not a 9-to-5 job with a guaranteed salary and benefits. So this is so important to really truly feel that you have this amazing support from God behind you. Let's talk about the law of assumption. Neville tells us man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his state of consciousness. So if you are going to take this to heart, you're going to realize that the only cause, the true cause, is within yourself. Unless you start to get carried away by second cause, the stream of events that are happening around you, the economy, what other people are telling you, you can get carried away with that, and then you can begin to just generate and create more of it. But if you rise within yourself and realize that the only cause is your state of consciousness, you can become a much more powerful entrepreneur. I am successful. I am successful. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. Choose a powerful affirmation. I also mentioned 7-Day Mental Diet here by Emmett Fox. This is extraordinary, and what a wonderful way to get your mind to cooperate with you and help you on this road to success. The 7-Day Mental Diet, of course, is a process of taking 7 days and every day monitoring your thinking patterns. And anytime you catch yourself indulging in a negative thought, you stop the challenge and you start over the next day. I highly recommend starting this process by doing what's just a 1-day mental diet. So tell yourself, today I'm going to completely engage in positive mental thinking. And anytime I catch myself dwelling on a negative thought or a negative idea, dwelling on a problem, I will catch myself and disengage from that thought train and put myself back on the positive thought train of what I want. So as entrepreneurs, we need to stay focused on what we want. We need to know what our end goal is, and we need to apply the law of assumption to know that it will manifest, that we will ultimately reach our destination as long as we keep our mind completely fixed on where we're going. All transformation begins with an intense burning desire. You must want to be different and intend to be different before you can change your world or change yourself. Then you must make your future dream a present fact. You do this by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. The attainment of your ideal. What is your ideal as an entrepreneur? Success, wealth, financial abundance. These may be some of the ideals or symbols that you want to tune yourself into. And this, the feeling states around success, wealth, prosperity, abundance, those feeling states will represent your wish fulfilled. And this is what we want to persist in. Even as challenges come up, even as, different issues in your business begin to transpire, we're going to return to the feeling of our wish fulfilled and persist in our assumption until that feeling state becomes dominant. The feeling state is so important. Even as problems or challenges pop up, we want to constantly return to that feeling state. Let's talk about the ideal you as an entrepreneur. The only fate governing your life is the fate determined by your own assumptions. For an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. What are you assuming about your life as an entrepreneur? What are you assuming or have you assumed about the current business that you're operating? Are you allowing negative ideas to overwhelm your mind? Are you making a lot of negative assumptions? If we persist in negative assumptions, even if those are false, I love this expression that an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Everything depends upon your attitude towards yourself. That which you will not affirm as true of yourself will never be realized by yourself. You must abandon yourself to your ideal. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption has all the sensory vividness of reality. You must imagine that you are already experiencing what you desire. The man who is not prepared for the conscious plunge into the assumption of the wish fulfilled is not ready to live consciously by the law of assumption. So in business, we abandon ourselves to success. No matter what's going on around us, we stay committed to the realization of our goal, the fulfillment of our assumption. We plunge ourselves into that and maintain that state of mind and state of being until it has all the sensory vividness of reality. So this is partly what we're doing in imagination or visualization, seeing our goals fulfilled, seeing ourselves carrying out our daily tasks successfully, having successful conversations with customers, with other business partners, whatever the case might be, seeing ourselves successfully raising the capital we need, successfully drawing support from family and friends if you're in those beginning stages of your business. We want to completely absorb ourselves in the feeling of success so that you know and truly feel that you already are a success now. And Neville talks about being like a moth drawn to the flame of desire. You let the old man go. The old man gets replaced by the new man. The new man is the version of you who knows that they are successful. The new man is the one who does not second guess, but has total conviction in your ideas and in the different ventures that you might be launching or different products that you're creating. You must be conscious of being successful to know success. This really gets us to one of the core concepts, I think, in manifesting, which is that what we're really doing is embodying an ideal spiritually, because you can never really know something intellectually. We could talk about success and wealth and what that all means intellectually. We could write it down, build spreadsheets. We can create charts and graphs and try to talk about it and analyze success and come at it from all these objective angles. But to really know success, you must be it. You must feel it inside yourself. And that is manifesting the ideal in the here and now. So your imagination, form a mental image, a picture of the state desired of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you already are that person. And you visualize it in your consciousness and feel yourself as though it's actually here in your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which was a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. I really like that Neville talks here and focuses on being the person you want to be. And as entrepreneurs, we need to be people who are consumed by feelings of success, people who take action with confidence, people who believe in our ideas and in our products and in our services. You must be that person. You must take on that state desired and become that person in the present moment. Neville goes on to say that the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds out all other ideas of consciousness. Those might be ideas of failure or ideas that this isn't going to work. Customers are never going to buy this. I'm never going to get results from this marketing campaign. All of those negative ideas, if you see yourself repeating them to yourself often enough, you will manifest that. It's, this is a process of self-discovery, really. Realizing the kinds of internal loops you're playing in your mind and reversing that into a positive direction of what you want. See yourself as successful in your imagination. Feel that your businesses are already thriving. See your marketing, advertising, and sales systems flourishing right now. You could actually hear your cash register ringing. So if you're running a physical business with an actual brick and mortar store, yes, hear your cash register ringing. See yourself swiping credit cards or your employees swiping credit cards. See the inventory going in and out of your business. If you're running an online enterprise, see the Slack notifications that tell you that a new sale just hit your Shopify store. However that works for you, whatever the visuals are for you, you've got to apply this to your own particular situation and create visuals in your mind that symbolically represent to you those feelings of success and seeing things as going the way you want them to go. Let's talk about focused. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. If you are unstable, it is because you are double-minded. You are thinking of success and you're thinking of failure. And by the way, it's impossible to think of success and failure at the same time. What we do is we think of success at one part of the day and then we think of failure at another part of the day. And it's the dominant pattern that's what's going to manifest into your life and into your businesses, that dominant pattern. So we must get ourselves single-minded. How do we do that? Well, what's really worked for me is understanding that there is only one power. And if you read enough Neville or Thomas Troward is great at this, you'll begin to understand, or Dr. Joseph Murphy, very good at explaining this concept, that there is only one power and it is good. The only time we are actually engaged in negative thinking or fear, the only time we're giving negative things any power or failure any power is when we're engaged in doubt and fear. Doubt and fear is the unreal. Success is the real. So once you begin to see that success, for example, is the equivalent of walking into a dark room with a candle or flipping on the light switch, the light is success. The absence of light is failure. So it's actually not real. The darkness is not real. It's just the absence of light. It's just the absence of good. So when you're double-minded, essentially what you're doing is making the room light and then you're making it dark again. You're making it light, then you're walking away and making it dark again. So we want to illuminate the room in a steady, consistent manner to be single-minded. Neville says the power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. Obviously, we're human and we have this conscious mind to deal with. So don't think for a moment that you have to do this perfectly 100% of the time. But if you practice and practice, you will get to a point where it becomes your dominant state and you're able to do it more naturally. In fact, forcing this can have a negative effect as well. We don't want to force it. We want to gradually grow into it by repeated application. Put the majority of your attention on success. Know that your success is inevitable no matter what. Know that any obstacles or challenges are simply coming up to be dealt with along the path to your victory. There will be challenges. There will be obstacles. They're just popping up so you can clear them out of the way. Don't think that they spell failure or that they mean that you won't reach your imagined end. Having seen and felt the end, you realize the means. All that's necessary to reach the end is to see it and feel it and persist in it. That's all that's necessary. Everything else will happen automatically. As we move on to be ye doers, creating an ideal in your mind, you can identify with yourself with it, or you can identify yourself with it until you become one and the same with the ideal, thereby transforming yourself into it. Be ye doers. Faith without works is dead. Now, faith without works, what does this mean? It doesn't mean we have to go out and slave away to make these things happen. God is doing the work. God does the work through you, for you, and all around you. Now, as entrepreneurs, we're of course channeling this power through our actions. Faith without works is dead. There's two ways you can read that. One way is to think, well, the work I'm doing is the work I'm doing within. If I really believe, if I really have faith and trust and belief, then anytime some adverse feeling comes up inside me or some negative thought train, then I can do the work of turning that thought train out. And I do that with faith. Faith is the energy and power that allows me to overcome any negative thoughts in my mind and to dismiss fear and doubt. Faith is the light that we shine on the darkness of fear and doubt. The other way of reading this, faith without works is dead, is that we take inspired action knowing success is certain. So there will come things will pop up along the path that you have to do. This is the science of getting rich, as Wallace Wattles describes, that we must work and take action in the certain way. And the certain way is the way of knowing. And in the words of Yoda, we don't try. There is no try. There is only do. And that's the kind of mindset you want to have. I'm not trying to be successful. I'm doing success. I'm not trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm doing entrepreneurship. I'm not trying to create this new product line. I'm doing it. It's happening. We stay true to the ideals in our mind and we let them come through us. Very useful affirmation. If you can write this down or commit it to memory, I use this very frequently, multiple times a day, every day. And the affirmation is, every decision I make and every action I take always leads me to the fulfillment of my wonderful, definite chief aim. And then I'll go on to describe what that aim is, which of course I have memorized, which is a business goal or goals for multiple businesses. So I encourage you to use that, apply it. It helps put your mind in a frame of reference that, look, I am taking the right action. It's happening right now. And Thomas Troward tells us that if some decision comes up and you're not sure which way to go, and you feel that this decision is so critical that if you made the wrong decision, that then you can't have your goal, well, you've just solved the Chinese finger trap, because you already know that the decision that you make is going to lead you to your goal. So essentially what we're doing is programming our mind and our subconscious mind to always make the right decision. And it sounds like a little bit like mental jujitsu. That's exactly what it is. We are convincing ourselves that everything we do is leading us to our goal. And it's just another way of reaffirming to our subconscious and to the superconscious mind, to which we are all connected, that this is working. I am going the right way. I know I'm going the right way. And that kind of conviction and confidence is so important. So let's tie this all together. How do we apply this? Number one, describe and define your goal. The way I like to do this is I have a picture of what I want my business to look like when I reach the end of this goal. I have a picture of the kind of revenue it has, the type of products and services it's selling, what that looks like for me, for my staff, what kind of work is required from me. Of course, my businesses are easy, lucrative, and fun. This is an affirmation that's helped me tremendously. I'm going to choose a goal that really resonates with who I am because I know I will be excited to get out of bed in the morning to pursue that goal. If I choose something that I think, I read this business book and it told me I need to have a business like this, but I'm not really resonating with that, that's bound to fail because it's not aligned with who I really am. Then we visualize and imagine daily. I highly encourage you to set up a regular visualization routine twice, 3 times a day, especially when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed at night. People talk about doing SATs. That's great. Whatever works for you. Just make it a daily practice and one that you can feel you are committed to, because when you go within, you feel that it's real. That's so important, that you feel and you believe in your visions. And then the third step is to make the feeling of your wish fulfilled your dominant state of being. So what we're doing is we're going into the future, which, by the way, is now. The past is now, the future is now, there is only now. So when we go into the future where we imagine this goal already fulfilled, we're taking the energy of that future, as Dr. Joe Dispenza would say, and bringing it into your present moment right now. We want to operate as much as possible from that feeling state, from that state of being, that state of consciousness. Your consciousness is not just your thoughts. Your consciousness is your feelings, it's your energy, it's your whole state of being. It's who you are. It's the entire encapsulation of you. Your consciousness is not just your mind, it's also your body. It's this whole state, this envelope that you occupy in this physical 3D world. So that's the third piece of this, is making that feeling our constant dominant state of being. It doesn't mean you can't get frustrated sometimes or feel a little stressed out. You're human. You're going to feel that way. But if you can get to a place where 60, 70, maybe 80% of the time you're in that wish fulfilled state, it's going to help you tremendously, because you're going to start drawing things to you. Your reality is going to start shifting. You're going to begin selecting a version of reality that's aligned with that state of being. And the next thing, of course, persist. Persist, persist, persist. The more you practice, the easier and more natural it gets. And in fact, the ultimate goal is to get to a place where success feels natural to you. That's what this is really about. If you're in a place where you've never started a business, or you're in a place where you already have a business, but it's struggling, it's not doing what you want it to do, you are in a place, and it's important to be honest about this, where success does not feel natural to you. Because if it did feel natural to you, it would already be there. That's what we're trying to do. We're actually trying to put ourselves in a place where success is so natural to you, and business is easy, lucrative, and fun, and it just flows through you, and you're in that state of being. Now, you can go about business without manifesting, and that's why I want to address that. I have plenty of friends who are not really manifestors, if you will, or they're not into mind metaphysics or success consciousness, and they have achieved levels of success. Now, I think there are a few reasons for that. Number one is they do some of these things I describe in this video today. They do them unconsciously. They may come from a family that has like a history of business success, and they may have inherited some of these ideas or feelings. Or they have just put themselves in a place where they do battle every day on the level of secondary cause, the level of reality where you're kind of in the 3D. They're not operating from the 4D. They just got really good at the 3D level. Now, in my experience, people who have that kind of success are not usually the happiest people. There are exceptions to that, but often they're not as fulfilled. They're not as successful internally, but they have manifested success on the outward plane. And hey, you know, everyone has their own journey. Sometimes people do that, and then later they find some spiritual growth from within. But in this video, this presentation, I'm talking about bridging these two things together, making the spiritual part connect with the business part of you, the entrepreneurial part of you. And I find that to be a very harmonious relationship. And I believe, and I know from experience, that if you bridge these things together, your results will be tremendous. They will flow to you. They will be more natural. They will be more wonderful. And you will end up in a place where you are so much more fulfilled than someone who beat their head against a brick wall for a decade in order to hatch out some success. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, and you're still here listening to me, thank you so much. Please take a moment to like the video. It helps with the algorithm to ensure other people can see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come visit me over at thelawofassumption.org. I'm all about talking about the law of assumption, not just through Neville Goddard, who I love, of course, but through other authors, and trying to apply this wonderful concept to so many different areas of life and expand our understanding of the law and how it works through us, for us, and all around us. And come over to thelawofassumption.org. We've got great blog posts you can read there. There's ebooks to download, newsletters to subscribe. And again, I'm Jason from thelawofassumption.org, and I will talk to you soon.